definitely the most comfortable generation ever, isn't it? But we cannot claim we are the most joyful. We cannot claim we are the most loving. We cannot even claim we are the most peaceful. To be peaceful and happy, today I'm sure many people are propagating this, and even the so-called spiritual leaders are going about saying, peace is the ultimate goal of life. Such people will only rest in peace. Because, tell me, today, if you want to enjoy your lunch today, if you're not ecstatic, at least you must be peaceful, isn't it? Hello? If you're not in some state of ecstasy, at least you must be peaceful to enjoy the food that you eat, isn't it? So I'm asking you, to be peaceful, to be happy, is it the ultimate goal of your life or is it a fundamental requirement of your life? It is a most fundamental requirement. If you're not even peaceful, I don't know how many have died under your care. Because when you're not even peaceful and happy, you tend to do things which are neither good for you nor for anybody, isn't it? This is the nature of the human being. When we are not peaceful and happy, don't we tend to do things which were not good for us and not good for anybody? Now, this peace has been taken to heaven. People say, if you say peace, people say divine peace. If you say joy, they'll say divine joy. If you say love, they'll say divine love. These are all human things. Human beings are capable of being peaceful, joyful, loving, but all these things have been exported to heaven by those who are crippled. Crippled lives have exported these things to heaven. If you say peace, they say it happens only there. If you say joy, it happens only there. If you say love, it happens only there. Even your dog is capable of being loving, isn't it so? You don't have to reach as far as God to know love. A dog will do it, yes? Consistently, yes or no? If you get yourself a dog, 12 years guaranteed love affair or no? Yes? I wouldn't say the same thing about everybody else, but there is no guarantee about others, but a dog is a guaranteed love affair, isn't it? Now, these things have been raised like this. You know, I was to speak at Tel Aviv. I was flying out of Atlanta. I was to land there in the morning and speak at 6:30 in the evening, but then I land up there at 6 o'clock in the evening because of some flight delays. And I'm quickly changing in the airport to rush to the venue because in these 34 years I have not been late to a single appointment in my life, so I don't want to break this. So I'm quickly changing and rushing. And I'm famished because I'm traveling by an American airline, there's nothing edible on the plane. There's nothing edible on the plane. So I'm really famished. And when I go to the venue, to my joy, I find the venue is a very fine restaurant. Life can't get better. When you're so hungry, they've taken you to a restaurant straight. So, people are coming in and greeting me. One man comes up and says, "Shalom." I ask him, "What does it mean?" He says, "This is the highest way of greeting." I said, "Well, that's your opinion, what does it mean?" He said, "No, this is really the highest way of greeting." I said, "All right, but what does the word mean?" He said, "It means peace." I said, "Why would peace be the highest way of greeting unless you're born in Middle East?" In South India, somebody comes up to me in the morning and says, "Peace." I'll say, "What's wrong with you?" So I'm saying anything that you're deprived of will slowly rise to heaven. Everything that human beings are talking about, everything that human beings have attributed to their gods, everything that human beings have exported to heaven, these are all human qualities. Yes? Those who made themselves incapable, their they're talking, it'll happen somewhere else. But today human intellect is sparking like never before. Never before this many human beings could think for themselves. Yes? Never before in the history of humanity. Because otherwise a priest, a pandit, a scripture, something else thought for you. Now human beings are beginning to think for themselves. Whether they're thinking straight or not is another issue, but at least they're thinking something. It's a good beginning, something they're thinking. Once they start thinking, the problem with thought is, it has to be logically correct, otherwise it doesn't go by. Even the most idiotic argument if you witness, people are talking the way they're talking because they believe it's logically correct. Yes or no? Nobody thinks he's logically wrong and continues to argue, he won't do that. He somehow finds a way to make it logically correct. So, once this happens, that human intellect begins to fire like this, even if God comes and stands here and speaks, unless he makes sense, people will reject him. That's all. Maybe you don't have the courage to say yes, your children, they are going to reject it. Unless it makes sense to them, they're going to reject it. Yes or no? So once they reject it, it may so happen, heavens will crumble, heavens will fall down. You know what is in heaven? You don't know. Let me tell you so that you can make your choices. Hindu heaven, food is great. Because Nala himself cooks for you there. Nala himself cooks, he is the best chef in the universe. So food is very good. If you're a foodie, you must go to Hindu heaven. In another heaven, in the clouds, white-gowned ladies are floating. If you like that kind of ambience, you can go there. In another heaven, you'll have virgin problems. If you want to encounter that, you can go there. Only problem is, what is the qualification for you to get there? This happened in a Sunday school in Alabama. Anybody from Alabama?
Yes.
I would have chosen another state if you had told me you're here. The Sunday school teacher, in his enthusiasm, asked the tiny tots, "What do you have to do to go to heaven?" Little Mary stood up and said, "If I scrub the church floor every Sunday morning, I will go to heaven." Absolutely. Another little girl stood up and said, "If I share 50% of my pocket money with my less privileged friend, I will go to heaven." Absolutely. Another boy said, "If those who are in need of help, if I reach out and help them, I will go to heaven." Correct. Little Tommy in the back bench stood up and said, "You gotta die first." So you got to die first, that is the basic qualification, all right? So when you die, depending on your culture, we'll either bury you or burn you or feed you to the birds. One of the things we will do to you. Yes? It is the… or in other words, anyway, your body, we put it back into this earth because this body is something that you borrowed from this planet, isn't it so? You're on loan. If you were planning to take it to heaven, you're a willful defaulter, Yes? It's good to pay this back, isn't it? What we have taken, we can use it well. When it's time, we must pay back the loan or no. Put it back into the earth. Whether you like it or not, they will. So once you left your body here, what will you do with good food and virgins and all this stuff? These are all problems that people have when they have a body, isn't it? Once you put the body here, what will you do with all these things? So I'm saying, once intellect fires big time, We have kept it down because if you ask questions, we would have you dead for a long time. Please understand. With this we had kept it down, but we can't keep it down anymore. Now people will ask all kinds of things. When they ask 2-3 questions, heavens will crumble. Heavens may crumble, but human longing to experience something more will not go. The human longing to experience something will always be there. If you take away the hope that somewhere else it's going to happen to you, people will start seeking solutions here. When they start seeking solutions here, if you don't show them a way, if you don't show them a way which is logically correct and scientifically ascertainable way, where you can take charge of your inner experience and cause the kind of experience that you want to be in, if you don't teach them the ways, if you don't give them the technologies for inner well-being, then I would say in another 60 to 80 years' time, 90% of the humanity will seek chemical solutions.